Good evening, everybody. My name is Nathan, and I'm the creator of AnAmericanFrontPorch.com. I'd like to thank the guys from Stogie Review for allowing me to offer up this cigar review this evening. It's a beautiful Tennessee evening here on my front porch in Middle Tennessee, about 70 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. The crickets are chirping. It's a wonderful, wonderful night to enjoy a good cigar and share it with all of you. Tonight I'm going to review a cigar that I believe one of the guys mentioned they had, to my knowledge, it's not been reviewed on the website. Tonight I'm going to be enjoying the Davidoff No. 2. The Davidoff No. 2 is a 6x38 Panatella with, I don't know if you can tell or not, but on the tip it's a pigtail, so it's a little different. I enjoy a unique cigar when I can. So that being said, it's a natural wrapper Dominican cigar, and it's an interesting story behind this cigar. It was given to me by Ray Schurer, the what they call the Davidoff ambassador. I am a big fan of Davidoff cigars. I know they're a little pricey, but I can tell you that, in my opinion, all the Davidoffs I've tried before have been worth every penny. So that being said, I'm expecting the same out of this cigar, although I've never had the No. 2. I've never had any of their single-digit series, the classic series, what they call it, the No. 1, No. 2, Ambassadrice, or any of that. So I'll be starting this here in a moment, and I look forward to sharing it with you guys. Now, first look at this cigar, you can tell it is obvious Davidoff quality. I hope you all can see pretty well. I know it's dark, but I did my best to provide some light. The wrapper is absolutely flawless. There is hardly a vein on it. It's silky smooth. It has that beautiful Davidoff quality that we've all come to expect from our friends in Geneva. And like I said, it's just an absolutely immaculate cigar. I've got a lot of Davidoff in my humidor, whether it be the Anniversario No. 3s, Millennium Blends. I like them all, really. And it's hard for me to smoke this cigar. Normally, a cigar in my humidor, they rotate up from the bottom, and the ones in the bottom have been there for maybe 3 or 4 years. Some of the Davidoffs I have been there for 6 and 7 years after purchase. So it's tough for me to smoke this cigar after having it only a day, but I met Mr. Schurer at a local cigar shop this past Friday. He was kind enough to give me one of these, and I wanted to go ahead and try it because I know, like I said before, I believe the only thing else I've seen on Stogie Review from Davidoff is one of their cigarillos. So I want to go ahead and get this lit up, or I should say get the process started, and I am going to do a simple guillotine cut of this fine cigar, being obviously very careful to maintain the cap. And we cut off that little pigtail. But like I said, the appearance of the cigar is flawless. There are no visible bumps, stems, veins, anything. So we're going to give it our best shot and give it the respect, at least, that a Davidoff cigar deserves. So we'll give this a shot and see what we think here now as I add some flame to the tip of my cigar. Oftentimes, when it's windier, I'll use a butane torch, but when I can, I like to use a match, just because I like the way it lights a cigar better. It doesn't quite get so intense. Extremely easy to light after just one match, and they were the shorter matches that are offered, any wood match that's offered at my cigar shop. Very, very nice. The No. 2 here offers at the very beginning just very mild sweetness, which you would expect from the classic series, as they call them, from Davidoff. But like I said, lit up in one match, lit up very even, We'll see. We'll hope that it burns all the way. I've never really had any problems with Davidoff before, but we'll see what happens as we go the length of this number 2 here. I don't know if you can tell here in the dark, but there's a ton of smoke coming out of this cigar. An absolute enormous amount of smoke coming out of a Panatella. It's something that it's pretty interesting. You don't normally expect that out of a cigar that's a smaller ring gauge. Now I prefer smaller ring gauge cigars. This being, of course, like I said, a 38. I like them typically up to about a 44 or 46. It's totally preference, totally up to the user, but that's my preference there. But this has started off very nice. Light hints of tea, light hints of cedar, but then again, nobody goes to a cigar shop and asks for, I'd like a cigar that tastes like cedar. Taste is totally up to you, and people want one that tastes nice. But I can tell you already, as we already knew, this is going to be a very mild cigar. Or at least that's what I'm expecting. Who knows? But we'll see what happens as we go on through the Davidoff No. 2 Panatella, formerly a pigtail until we circumcise the little guy. But we will see what's in store for us as we enjoy the rest of the cigar on a beautiful night here in Middle Tennessee. I have, accompanying the cigar, a little unsweet iced tea in a mason jar, and a little Diana Crawl going on my iPod. So we'll see what the rest of the evening has in store. I'm now well into the first third of the Davidoff No. 2 Panatella, and things are going very well. I was right. This is, of all the Davidoff that I've smoked, this is the mildest Davidoff cigar that I've ever smoked. Very, very light and aromatic. The smoke coming off of the cigar has an aroma of cedar. The taste is even more cedary. That is the dominant flavor that I can detect right now. It's just like opening up a humidor, which is in many ways what we're looking for in a mild cigar. But this is indeed a very mild but extremely smooth cigar. You can tell here the ash has a slight up curve to it, and it's a little flaky. The ash is not what I've had from other Davidoff cigars. The ash is not quite as attractive, although still very well put together. It does have that slight up curve to it, which is a little it's a little different, not what I expected, but once again a very good cigar. Very good, especially for the flavor profile that it is, very mild and cedary. So this far into the first third, things are going very well for the Davidoff No. 2. So we'll continue on here and be back in just a few moments. We're now into the second third, the middle portion of the Davidoff No. 2 Panatella, and things are progressing very nicely. Like I said, I've never had this cigar before, but I can tell you that it is, simply put, the mildest Davidoff cigar I've ever smoked, and there are some very mild Davidoff cigars. Although, I can tell you, about 2.5 inches into this cigar, I would say the flavor profile did a nice little change on me. It surprised me somewhat. As I noted before at the beginning, it was cedar, cedar, cedar. The entire cigar was very cedar dominant, light cedar notes. It's still very aromatic, but that cedar now has taken a kind of a back seat to some other flavors. And namely, what I'm getting off of this is kind of a cinnamon and toast. It's very toasty. This cigar has gone very nice. Little hints of cinnamon, but it's not over the top at all. There's a mild sweetness, a character to these cigars that are second to none. Construction is still fabulous. Nothing is falling apart. It is burning absolutely straight. In fact, I ashed it too soon, and I had a 2.5 inch ash on the cigar. But I had to actually almost break the ash off when I went to ash it in my tray here, thinking that it was going to fall off, because I'm never really that guy that goes in with the extremely long, pretentious ash that's just destined to fall on somebody else's carpet at a cigar shop somewhere. That's just not. I don't think that's very polite, but that's just me. But once again, I'd say little under halfway into the Davidoff No. 2 Classic series. Things are going very well. And I would categorize this as going mild to barely medium in some spots. And just then, that's new, got just a little bit of spice off of it. Once again, nothing overpowering, but this is truly what's becoming a complex cigar, but still maintaining that mild flavor profile. So it's kind of a bit of a smoking conundrum here. Keeps you on your toes, but still very classy. So I'll keep enjoying this cigar and be back in a few moments. We're well into the final third of the Davidoff No. 2 Classic series, and things are very, very nice. It's still, once again, a mild cigar, but the toasty qualities that I was talking about earlier have intensified a little bit. We're now very much into the meat of this smoke. There is, once again, that light hint of spice, that light hint of tea, or I should say like a dark tea, but it's very cedary and very toasty. Very nice light cigar, very mild. The story of this cigar is construction. It's immaculate. It's absolutely immaculately built. This is in the middle of the cigar, and honestly, I would not have had to have ashed this cigar. It is a wonderful mild cigar. I would definitely advise you trying one. Once again, though, understanding that it is mild. People ask me a lot, do you smoke mild cigars, medium, full-bodied? A lot of people call them, strong. And my response is it really doesn't matter. I really do think that, even if you're a full-bodied cigar smoker, I think you really ought to try something like this. Maybe the Davidoff No. 2. The No. 3 is a really neat cigar as well. It is a Lancero, and I haven't smoked one of those either, but I'm a Lancero kind of guy, so I'm going to try one soon. But honestly, this cigar addresses both the desires of those who enjoy mild cigars, and I would say medium as well. I think those who smoke full-bodied cigars, really enjoying the Siriar La Glorias, really enjoying the more full-bodied cigars out there, the Partagas Blacks and things like that, you won't really get much out of this cigar. Not unless you're in the mood for something mild. Unless you know what you're getting into and you purposefully pick something like this. But I do think, though, that those of you out there that enjoy a nice natural wrapper, Dominican, Connecticut shades, things of that nature, I think you'll really get a lot out of this cigar. It's complex but yet mild at the same time, complex but yet simple, and it's one that has been pleasing from lighting to the nub. And I would, at the price point, it is one that you want to purposefully buy. This cigar is about, if I remember right, about $13. Although this specific cigar was once again given to me by Ray Shore of Davidoff. But I would advise you to try one. I've enjoyed it immensely. It goes well with a light drink, whether it be alcoholic or non. It goes well with something that's not too full-bodied, and I enjoyed it immensely. The smoke has been ribbony and silky, very smooth. Everything about this cigar says Davidoff class, and I would highly recommend it to anyone out there looking for a milder smoke, something for a special occasion, or honestly, for those that are just getting into cigars, the Davidoff Anniversario No. 3 was one of my first cigars. So it's something that the palate that's not quite used to a full-bodied cigar, they will definitely appreciate the Davidoff No. 2 Panatella. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Nathan from An American Front Porch. Hope you've enjoyed the little time we've spent together on my front porch. And once again, I'd like to thank the guys from Stogie Review for allowing me to submit this review, and I hope it has been of some use to you. Hope you guys have a great night and a great day wherever you are, whenever you are. Have a good smoke, guys.